If you are an IMG doctor wondering whether coming to the UK to work in the NHS is financially worth it, I am going to show you my actual pay slip. So my annual salary is £60,700. However, what I actually take home every month is a very different number. And I do believe any IMG considering UK should know an honest answer before they make that decision. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shreya and I'm a GP trainee working in the NHS Wales. So for those of you who are new to my channel, I came from India. I am an IMG and I did my PLAB exam and I have been working in the NHS for over 3 years now. However, currently I'm a first year GP trainee. So today we are talking about money, which a lot of doctors don't talk about enough. And it is such a shame because if someone is planning their whole career to move to a new or a different country, I am sure they deserve to see the real numbers. So I want to start with something that I'm actually quite happy about, which is my salary went up. And it's really important to talk about this because a lot of IMGs do not understand NHS pay progression quite well and how it works. So back in March 2026, my salary was around 58,000. My annual salary was about £58,000. And from this financial year, which is April 2026, my salary has gone up to £60,700, which is approximately an increase of £2,500. However, it actually just ends up being in the window of 250 to £300 increase in my monthly salary. So in today's video, I will break down my salary slip and we'll go through line by line, understanding where each penny comes from and where it goes. Right, so let's start. And a little disclaimer before that. So if you notice that why am I looking down is because I've got my salary slip and open in front of me so that I do not miss any detail. But however, you should be able to see the salary slip on your screens. So let's start from the very beginning. And of course, I've blurred the important or, the, of course, the some of the details which you would understand why. Right. Okay. So in the beginning, you've got your employee number, which of course I have blurred. And then you've got the employee name, and you should be able to see the title or the role that, I'm working as, which is a specialty registrar, a GP registrar. And then, of course, you've got the gross salary or the annual salary, which comes around £60,706. And then, of course, I am working in Wales, so I come into Welsh tax code bracket. So you should be able to see my tax code as well, because my tax code actually got changed recently, which has definitely helped me in getting more money in this month's salary slip. So in the top, you've just got the basic details, what your annual salary is, and your tax code, the role that you're doing. Right, moving on. First, we've got my basic pay, which for a month comes around £5,058. And I forgot to mention that I am full time and I work approximately 40 hours each week. I mean, there are weeks where I would be working more and more than 40 hours, and there would be weeks where I would be working less than 40 hours. So it sort of balances, as I would say, because I'm currently in a hospital rotation and I do have to do nights on calls and all of that. Okay, coming back. So as I've just mentioned, my basic pay comes around £5,058. And the second is band 1B. So what basically is band 1B? So it's the payment for the on calls and out of hours that I do, which comes around £2,023. So the total actually comes around £7,082. Sounds fancy, isn't it? But that is not the actual number that I get as the take home salary each month, which is so sad. But yeah, let's move on to the more interesting part of this video, which is where the money actually goes and all of the deductions. All right, now let's move on to the real thing, which is the deduction and where the money actually goes. So, and mind you, you will be shocked when you have a look. So, first of all, we've got the payee, which is the income tax that we have to pay. So, according to my tax code, I do come into the higher bracket for the tax deductions, and each month I pay around £1,612 for tax. And then moving on, we've got national insurance. So each month I pay around £309 for national insurance. Again, these two, they are not optional, these are mandatory. Okay, you've got to pay for them each month. And then comes the NHS pension, and I contribute about 10.7% for my NHS pension, and that comes around £541 from my total salary. So if you add up all the deduction, it comes around £2,463. Can you believe it? The first time I ever saw my payslip and I looked at all the deductions, well, I was quite excited when I saw the gross salary or the monthly gross salary. And then I had a look at the deduction and I was shocked. Okay. So yeah, that's quite a good chunk of salary that goes into deduction. Now I want to spend a moment on NHS pension scheme, because a lot of people consider £540, losing £540 each month as sort of a money that you're losing. However, the NHS pension scheme is one of the best pension scheme in the entire country, and that actually means your retirement income is guaranteed, depending upon, of course, the number of years that you've worked and what level you were working on. So it is an extremely beneficial pension scheme. So if you're someone who is planning to stay in the UK for long term, please do not think that the pension deduction is the money that you're losing. That is actually your future being taken care of. And the people who actually regret about NHS pension scheme are the ones who opt out of it early. So moving back to the payslip, so we've calculated the total payments, which come around £7,082 each month, and the total deductions come around £2,463 each month, which comes to a total net pay, which I actually get as take home each month, is £4,619. So the next question is 4,600 enough to live on? And my honest answer would be yes, based on where you're living in the country. So as I've mentioned, I am living in Wales, in Swansea, and I would speak for myself. So I am able to take care of my bills, rents, and everything quite well. But if you were to compare my salary to someone who's actually living in London, for say, I think they might be in a tight spot. They might still be able to manage all their bills and everything. However, they might not be able to save from, the salary that I am able to save from. So it really depends where you're living in the country and how comfortable you will be with £4,600. So here comes an important message for any IMG doctor who's planning to move over, that you make sure that you consider the cost of living for the area that you are planning to move, because throughout the country it really varies where you're living. If you're someone who likes to live in a city like London, then that's gonna be you. That's absolutely fine. But just make sure that you keep in mind that the cost of living in London is surely going to be higher than compared to any other cities in the UK. So this is it for today's video. I hope seeing an actual payslip and not just any rough estimate has helped you understand what deductions actually look like on a monthly basis, and what you can actually expect as take home monthly pay. And if you've got any specific questions regarding any of the lines from my pay slip that you want more clarity on, please drop them down in the comment section and I will be more than happy to help any one of you. So again, if you are planning to move to the UK and if you're still considering if UK is financially worth it, I would want to put it out there. It really depends upon the area that you'll be working or living in. So again, thank you everyone for watching. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do subscribe to my channel. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a like and drop any of the specific questions in the comment section because I read every one of them. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.